Thank you guys very much for coming out today. Happy to be here and wanted to spend some time talking with you about how we go about thinking about scaling social media in the enterprise. One of the things that I've found we can become relatively insular about is thinking about how does this work for global. This is the case in the United States and obviously in Canada and even in the UK. But when we start looking at a global marketer or a global organization, the fact that 70% of Facebook users are now located out of the United States is really saying one of the largest marketing opportunities within social media is existing in international. And what we're going to find with international is the number of stakeholders involved, the number of agencies involved, the number of platforms involved, the amount of politics involved, all becomes really challenging when we think about how we want to execute and how we actually want to be successful managing a global social media marketing program. This is for organizations who want to bring it together and figure out how do we run all these blogs, Twitter channels, Facebook pages to scale with all of our agencies, with all of our stakeholders, integrating customer support, integrating our marketing organization and PR. How does this work and how does this actually execute? How do we integrate campaigns and allow great creative to flow through the network? How do we ensure compliance? It's a kind of a dirty word, I think, in social to some degree, talking about compliance. However, if you read, and it's just a matter of time, every 8 weeks, someone does something stupid. I worked for Interpublic before creating Syncapse, and I was out talking to different agencies. Media said, we own social. PR said, we own social. Creative said, we own social. Digital said, we own social. And that was represented in terms of the customer being touched by all these different groups in an uncoordinated way. So what this built for a global enterprise was a lot of different currents touching the customer in a lot of different ways throughout the overarching organization, which created an inconsistent experience. So when we thought about the challenge, the only way to create a central current was to use a central piece of technology across multiple partners in the organization to be able to maintain a single customer touch point through that evolutionary curve. So that is moving in a model from a world where we were using different tools for different platforms and different tools to measure in different ways. Today, there are 70% of interactive marketers are piloting or trying a different social media management tool or a different piece. The evolution of that comes to how do we look at one technology platform, how do we bring it all together and maintain a single customer touch point? Social media may be new, but this concept is not. Relevant content drives engagement. If you're talking about to somebody in a relevant way in Indonesia, in a relevant language with relevant content, your results are going to be better. That's not rocket science. That's not social media. That's marketing 101. So the ultimate challenge is how do we deliver more relevant content in the local markets. On average, when we take a look at data from a global page, global social programs versus local, generally speaking, local programs that are being executed generate 36% more engagement than global programs that are operating in a global framework. We did a really interesting analysis that isn't published anywhere until on the world's smallest screen here today, which we'll upload after, to comparing global programs to local programs of a number of the organizations that you look at as leaders in social media. We look at Xbox, we look at Starbucks, we look at Oakley, Mini, Levi's, iTunes, Burger King, Ben & Jerry's. If we look at the comparative view, blue represents the UK program, red represents the global program and engagement. In this case, we're looking at Facebook. In every single example, the local pages and the local programs were performing better, in some cases significantly better than global ones. So the challenge when we're thinking about scaling in the enterprise really does come down to how do we empower those local markets, those local agencies to do what they know how to do best, create that great content, create those engaging marketing messages, and integrate into the other parts of the organization. When done well at a local level, the results are significantly better.